Warm welcome. Just a couple of props that you're going to need for today: two pillows or a small squishy Pilates ball if you've got one of them, but I'm assuming maybe you don't. And then loaf tin is a brilliant idea, or a yoga block. Okay, and then when you guys are ready, for those of you that have your props, you're going to start in this position. You're going to take your pillows behind your back so that it's kind of cutting you at your thoracic spine. You're going to literally lie over the thing, supporting your head in your hands. Ideally, you're going to get your elbows onto the floor as well. Okay. So I'm going to begin. I'm going to give the others a little bit of time to find their props and find the position. But just for those of you that are in the position already, a couple of things that I used to see when I could walk around in the flesh and see you guys on the ground doing this. A few things that I used to see would be that the bums don't touch the floor. So I want you to make sure that your bum is on the ground. Okay, so your bum is definitely on the ground. For those of you that feel like this is just uncomfortable in your lower back, then you might only take one little pillow underneath your mid back, or you might find it even just nice to lie flat on the floor. So if you feel like your lower back is not enjoying this and it's not relaxing into the position, then feel free to get rid of the ball, the pillow at any time. Okay? But if you're happy out, I want you to close your eyes. Let your elbows rest heavily on the ground. Think about your collarbones, so your clavicles, the real name for them. And I want you to imagine them getting as broad as the room that you're lying in. So the collarbones are getting broad. The area at the front of your chest is just opening up. Keep that little teeny tiny tuck of your chin towards your chest so that you have indeed got length in the back of your neck. We're going to take 10 more breaths here, and as you inhale and exhale, I want you to try and really relax any tension that you might have built up in your neck. Allow your shoulder blades to sink into the pillows. If you're on a Pilates ball, you might feel your shoulder blades almost wrap around the ball. Taking a little bit of focus to your shoulders, the area at the front of your shoulders. Try and relax there as well. For the last 5 breaths in this position, on your inhale, think about really allowing those ribs to open up towards the sky. On the exhale, relax even more through the neck and shoulders. Inhale, fill the ribs, open up the front of your body from the pubic bone to your sternum. Fill your tummy up with breath. And exhale, feel heavy into the floor, through the head, through the elbows, and through your tail. Inhale, fill the lungs, fill the tummy. Relaxing the front of your neck, relaxing your temple and your jaw. And exhale, Relax into the floor. Last breath here. Very nice. We're going to warm up the core just a little bit in this position. Before you start to move, I want you to visualize where your tummy muscles are. They're lengthened right now. We're going to shorten the tummy muscles by coming forward into our good friend flexion. Okay, so a little bit of flexion here. Keep the back of the neck long, and then inhale back into extension, slowly into extension. Okay, exhale, bring it forward. Inhale into extension. Feel the rib cage move. Exhale forward into flexion. Feel the rib cage move. So as you go about this, guys, I don't expect you to feel massive abdominal burn. In fact, I want you to take this movement kind of embedded into your brain right now and notice that it is possible to move your trunk, your upper body, without moving your lower body. Okay, obviously we have the ball helping us quite a lot here. But when we move through a couple of these things on our tummy later on, I want you to really focus on how you move your rib cage, okay? How your rib cage moves in relation to a fixed pelvis. Okay, let's go for 4 more here. Exhaling to come forward. Inhaling to extend back. Let's get a little bit more mindful as we move. So inhaling, coming back. Exhale, feel the rib cage draw through the front of your body as you come forward into flexion. Last time, inhale back. Exhale forward into flexion and just hang out here in your flexion for a second. Now, again, pelvis is going to stay super steady, and I want you to be pedantic about that more than anything else, okay? With the pelvis staying super steady, can you try and rotate your rib cage, your upper body, to your left? Now, it should be pretty small if you're honest about it. If you're keeping both bum cheeks glued to the floor and your pelvis steady, that rotation should be pretty small. Inhale again for me, hold the rotation. Exhale, see if you can get 0.5 millimeter more. Feel your left shoulder blade almost dig into your pillow or into your ball, and then come back through center, other side. Inhale, pelvis stays steady more than anything else. Exhale, keeping the pelvis steady. How much can you rotate to your right? I'm not cranking my neck here, so I really want to think about my sternum kind of shining towards that right hand corner of the wall. Inhale to hold. Exhale, rotate a little deeper. Notice your right shoulder blade digging into your pillow or into your ball or into the floor, and then bring it back. We're going to do that one more time each side. Inhale to center. Exhale, rotate to your left. Okay. Interesting little funky things that tend to happen with this is the knees do weird things to try and compensate. Don't let it happen. Inhale, pause. Exhale, twist a little bit deeper. Pelvis does not change, okay? Make that your priority. Hold, and then bring it back. Last time over to the right. Inhale. Exhale, over to your right. Let's do a little rotation. Keep the sit bones really, or at least the pelvic halves really equal on the floor. Inhale, pause. Exhale, twist a little deeper. And then bring it through to center. And then, guys, we're actually coming off of the ball. Get rid of it. And we're going to be on our hands and our knees. Okay? So hands underneath our shoulders, knees underneath our hips. Okay, so brief little, I guess, kind of warm up for the wrists, really. We're going to allow our weight to shift forward and backwards. So my shoulders are going slightly forward over my wrists and then back on top. Slightly forwards, back on top. I'm going to go for about 3 more, okay? I don't want you to force this too far. 3. Press your fingertips into the floor, kind of like you're clawing the earth, okay? As if you're about to pick up a big old chunk of mud. Last time, bring it back through center. You're going to push the floor away even more, and you're going to take your weight into your left hand. Push the floor away. Right arm is going to come up. Rotate. Now, feel how this feels, okay? Obviously you are, but I mean, really kind of notice how sticky this might feel in your body right now. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, twist a little bit deeper. Can you get all 10 toes onto the floor here? So just make sure that your right foot isn't doing anything strange. And then slowly take that right hand down. Push the floor away. Right hand presses into the floor. Left arm up. Ooh, just got a good click there. Been waiting for that all day. Okay, pause and hold. Push the floor away a little bit more. Inhale again. Exhale, twist a little deeper if you can. You're going to do one more time on each side. Okay, left hand down. Push the floor away. Right arm up. Really tug of war between heaven and earth here in the arm. So left arm is pushing. Right arm is reaching up. Neck is relatively free. Inhale. Exhale, twist a little bit deeper. I want you to try and use your back muscles here to twist even more. And take it down. Last time. Left arm up, right arm down. Twist. Think about your back muscles, the muscles between your two shoulder blades, the muscles spanning the length of your spine. Use them to twist you a little deeper. Access them. And then bring it back down. Very nice. Okay, I'm going to stay facing this direction, but actually we will go gradually into this. So keep your fingertips pointing forward for now, and then I want you to start to walk your hands out to the sides, out to the sides, out to the sides, until maybe you can get your fingertips to point back towards your knees. Now I know some of us are not going to get there, so don't force it. If you don't get there, you might end up at a bit more of a diagonal, which is cool. So say for instance you're at this diagonal, you're going to shift your weight in line with your middle finger. So I'm leaning back, shifting the weight in line with my middle finger, and then I'm going to go to the other side, shift my weight in line with the middle finger to stretch the underside of my forearm. Now if your fingers are pointing back towards your knees, then same thing, you shift your weight in line with your middle finger, come back, the heel of the hand will lift, and then you bring your weight forward. Okay, we're going to go for about 5 to 6 of these. Hold it for a beat. Okay, so when we stretch, we don't want to be ballistic, which means kind of bouncing into the stretch, but you can move back and forth through a stretch nice and slowly, but don't bounce. Okay, last 2. So if this is particularly tight, then I'd advise kind of doing this a bit more regularly than just a once off. Last 1. And then you're going to bring your shoulders above the wrists again. Again, I'm going to keep my fingertips pointing towards my knees, but if you're at that little diagonal, that's fine. Okay, so say for instance you're here. I want you to see if you can lift your thumbs off of your mat. Okay, so I mean it's a tiny little movement. You might not even notice my thumbs lifting, but see if you can lift your thumbs off of your mat and spread your thumbs as far away from the rest of your fingers as possible. So think about getting your thumbs as far away from the rest of your fingers as possible and lifting them off of the mat. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then slowly come off of them. Gentle little shakes. Vigorous shaking of the wrists, not such a great idea. Okay, gentle little shakes, and then you guys have done this one with me before. We're going to make fists, like really tight fists. Bring the back of your knuckles, I guess, together, and you're going to come down. All right, so once you're down, try and get your elbows, your forearms onto the floor as well. Okay, you're not allowed to lose the fist, but what you're going to try and do is lift your elbows away from the ground, trying to straighten them out without losing your fist. In fact, squeeze your fists tighter. Good, and then slowly take it down. Okay, and bring it up. And take it down. Keep on going. I'm just going to show you the side angle as well. So I'm not leaning all my weight forward into the wrists. I've mostly got my weight kind of in my heels, or in my back towards my heels. Yeah. You should feel a stretch along the back of your forearms. 3. So I don't know about you guys, but I'm spending a lot of time on my phone, a lot of time at the computer. And these muscles that we're stretching out now, they're the ones that we use when we use our hands so much. Last time, and they need love as well. Great job, everyone. Okay, and coming up, just a little gentle shakelet. Take that pressure off the wrist. Okay, cool. So from here, we're coming back onto all fours. Briefly back onto all fours. And again, let's start with the right arm actually. We're going to take the right arm up towards the sky. Hold. And this time, I'm going to flex my right hand. So my fingertips are going to flip back. Okay, towards the back of my hand. I'm going to open up a little bit more. And I want to see if I can draw 5 circles here. 5. Keep pulling your fingers back towards your forearm. Okay, in the direction that gives you a feeling of stretch. 3. 2. So I want you to really fight for at least 80% of your max of that flexion of the wrist. 2. 1. And then other side, place your right hand down, left arm up, flex into the wrist, so draw your fingers back towards your palm and circle. 5. And I don't know about you, but one side definitely felt different to the others. My dominant side had almost like a bit of a neural feeling. This side doesn't. Good. Last 2. And well done. Very nice. So coming back onto just general all fours position, bring yourself into half plank. Half plank position. All right. Now, this is going to maybe be a little bit strange, but just try and work with me on this one. So, half plank position, I want you to think about a cat stretch. So you're going to round into your spine, round into your upper back, round into your mid back, round into your lower back, push the floor away. Elbows are relatively straight, okay? And then you're going to try and camel into your spine, so the opposite of the cat. Lift your chest, lift your tail, okay? Take a second. And then we're going to round again. So the only difference here from a normal cat-cow is that we started in a half plank. Okay, keep going. 5. Push. 4. So when you come into your camel, whatever you want to call it, try and think less about arching into the lower back and more about shining your sternum forward and up. Okay? 3. And lift. 2. So less lower back in the camel, more heart up. 2. Okay. Last time. And then find a neutral position, half plank. We're going to lower ourselves all the way down onto our tummy. As you find your tummy, you're going to kick one leg back, other leg back to expose the front of your hips into the floor, and then you're going to tuck. Press your pelvis, your pubic bone down into the mat. Right hand underneath your forehead, left hand reaches back for left foot. So gentle quad stretch here. Breathing into the front of your left hip. So I know we're all kind of different here, obviously, in terms of how tight or how loose we are. So if this is more than enough for you, please do stay here. If you feel this in your lower back too much, it means that you're not tucking enough. You're not squeezing your left glute enough. You're not pushing your pubic bone into the floor enough. I really need you to find that. If you want more, you're going to try and bend into your left elbow. So the left elbow is going to kind of bend and point up towards the ceiling. You're going to really try and press your left foot in towards your glute and almost draw your left elbow towards the spine, towards the midline of your body, so that you get a stretch in that left shoulder. So really actively pulling the elbow up and inwards towards the spine. Don't lose your lower body squeeze. So if you've got all those elements happening, this should not be easy. Very active, even though it looks super passive. Expose your pelvis into the floor. Really, really squeeze that left glute. 3, 2, 1, and then slowly release. We take it straight on over to the other side. Okay, so exactly the same thing. Alright, so left hand underneath left forehead, reach left forehead. Anyone who's got 2 heads, that's for you. Alright, pull your right heel in towards your bum. Just make sure that you've got your pubic bone pressed into the ground here, okay? Tailbone is a highway, lengthening to the wall back behind you. Breathing, breathing, breathing. If you want a little bit more and you're not going to lose that integrity of the quad stretch, then you're going to really bend your right elbow up towards the sky and pull your right elbow in towards your spine. So not to the right of you, you're pulling your elbow towards the midline of your spine. And that should give you a nice little stretch over the right shoulder. Squeeze your right glute. Holding for 5. More glute if you can. More exposure of the pubic bone into the floor. 3, 2, 1, and you can release. Well done. So from here, hands come underneath your shoulders. You're going to press yourself back up into your half plank position again. Okay, so back into that weird little half plank. Alright, now this time in your half plank, this is maybe a little bit neat, you're going to bend into your elbows just a little bit. So elbows bend a smidgen. And then I want you to wrap your elbows backwards. So my elbows are not going to be pointing left and right. They're going to be pointing back towards my feet. So not to the sides, back. Okay? Then, from here, you're going to push the floor away through the heels of the hands a little more. Elbows might straighten a smidge, but they've still got a micro bend. Then, you're going to try and round into your spine. Round into your spine. So cat stretch here with a little bent elbow. Keep your arms the same, guys. And then see if you can cow. So lift the tailbone, lift the chest. And then cat. This is really hard. And camel. So start to feel the spine move. And the 2 arms are like steel. Last time. I really hope this is working for you. And camel. Come to neutral. Lower yourself all the way down. Kick one leg back to open the pelvis into the floor. Kick the other leg back. Squeeze your bum. Press your pubic bone into the ground. Reach your left hand back. Catch your left foot. Again, press your pubic bone into the floor. See if you can now reach your right hand back to capture your right foot. Keep your forehead on the ground for now. But your collarbones, I want you to get them as broad as you got them when we started class and we were lying over those pillows. So imagine those pillows were back behind you again. Notice if your lower back is mega arching here. So get your pubic bone to contact the earth and notice how your feet might start to press into your hands. You want that, so push your feet into your hands. Use that to help you squeeze your shoulder blades together and get your collarbones even broader. Now find your bum. Squeeze your bum. Squeeze your booty, press your pubic bone into the floor a little bit more, and you might start to notice your head gets quite light. And see if perhaps you could use that pushing of the feet into the hands, the squeezing of the glutes, to lift your chest, lift your head up off of the mat. Maybe you can hold it here for 10, 9, 8, 7. Don't worry about height, and definitely don't crank the neck forward. Keep the neck long. 5. Pubic bone into the ground. 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly release. Well done. Take your hands underneath your shoulders. Press back up into half plank position. Great job, everyone. I really hope that went okay for you. All right, so again, in your half plank position, bending to the elbows, wrap them back towards your feet. Okay, so I'm not letting the elbows go out to the side, back towards the feet. Lower back stays nice and long, neck stays nice and long. Okay, now keeping the elbows slightly bent, find your spine, round into your lower back, round into your upper back, round into your mid back. Draw your belly in through the front of your body. Draw the rib cage through the front of your body, connecting into the floor through the heels of the hands. I am dying here. I hope you guys are feeling this too. And then you're going to see if you can keep your elbows the same and lift your sternum, lift the tail. So really let your booty shine up to the sky. Okay? And then change it up one more time. Round, round, round. That's tough. And arch, arch, arch. Round again. And then we're going to lower our spine down. See if you can get, or lower our pelvis down. See if you can get pubic bone, rib cage, chest. Tent your fingers in front of your shoulders, wider than the width of your mat. Expose your pelvis into the floor. All 10 toes on the mat ideally here. Press your pubic bone into the earth. Really important. Lower back stays super long. Inhale. And as you exhale, you're going to come into a little bit of an extension position in the thoracic spine. Remember that rib cage movement we did on the ball? Find that here. So I'm not letting my lower back arch. I'm not letting my pelvis do anything crazy. But I want to see if I can lift and open through the front of my rib cage. My lower back is not arching excessively, okay? So I'm not just cranking this out through my lower back. Nor am I here in my shoulders. I'm using my lats to scoop and lift. So my arms are way active. Inhale here, and just like a little slice of cheese on a piece of toast, you're going to lay yourself down. So pubic bone, belly, rib cage, sternum. And we're going to undulate through these. So we're going to come up, pull your sternum through. So use the traction that you have with your fingertips on the mat. So pull and lift through the sternum, and then lay yourself down. Okay, and lift up. Pull your sternum through, lay yourself down. Last time, and lift up. Shoulder blades down. Pull your sternum through, and well done. Great job. Okay, so we're going to stay on our tummy just for a little bit longer here. I'm going to ask you to take, let me think about this. want you to be able to see me. So you're going to take your left arm out to the left hand side, straighten out to the side. Okay. Your left cheek is going to be on the floor, the left ear. So you're looking to your right. Your right hand is going to be planted on the ground next to your right shoulder. And then you're going to take that right leg up and over. So you're essentially rolling yourself over your left shoulder. I hope you can still hear me. Okay, now, I mean, for a lot of us, this will be intense, but for some of us, you won't feel much. So the angle of your left arm is really important in the sense that the higher you move your left arm, so if you angle your left arm up towards the top left corner of your room, then you'll probably feel more stretch. We're going to hold this for about 4 more breaths. I want you to really target that breath into the front of your left shoulder. The first time I ever did this stretch, I was actually suffering with a meniscus injury in my knee, and my knee was what was bothering me. So if you find this uncomfortable in your knee, you can actually straighten your right leg out. It doesn't really matter what the top leg does, but resting it on the floor can just be comfy. Last breath here. And then bring it back through center, other side. Same exact thing. Okay, so hopefully you've got the space. Right arm out to the right, left hand flat on the floor. Push yourself into your rotation. So if you had to visualize your right shoulder, the one that's stretching now, try and imagine it literally melting. So sometimes when we go into a stretch, we can tense up. Try and actually allow the stretch to really happen. Soften into it. Last 2 breaths here. Well done. Slowly come out of it. Great job. Okay, so we're going to stay on our tummy just for a little bit longer while we're here. So this is where you're going to need your block or your Loafton. It's a brilliant suggestion from Dave. So the block, you guys, most of you have done this with me before, goes onto your bum. Okay, so we're going to take our forehead back to the mat. And again, just make sure that your pelvis is really as open into the floor as possible. Okay. Press your pubic bone down into the floor and try and see if you can get all 10 toes to actually touch the ground. Even the pinky toes. Bit strange, but try. Okay, forehead stays on the mat. For this one, I'm going to ask you to take your hands back first to your bum. So you're going to grab a hold of the flesh of your booty. And you're going to practice opening up the front of your chest. So you're squeezing your elbows towards one another, towards the midline of your spine, in the attempt of getting your your collarbones really broad. In this moment, hopefully no one's watching you hold on to your butt, but in this moment, I really want you to make sure that you're not scrunching your shoulders and shoulder blades up towards your ears. This is a horizontal movement in the shoulder blades. Okay, it's called retraction. And then you can relax the elbows. All right? If you're ready, you're going to reach back and hold onto your block. This time you can wrap your fingers around your block or your baking tin, whatever you've got. Okay, and then again, all 10 toes on the mat. Lower back is long. And before we do anything fancy with the block, I want you to get your collarbones really broad. So you're going to squeeze your shoulder blades towards one another. Don't scrunch the shoulders up towards the ears here. Please get the shoulder blades down and together. Find the muscles of your mid-back, contract into them, and then see if you can lift the block or the tin away from your bum and straighten out the elbows. Okay, so in this moment you're allowed to hold on to the block with the fingers. That's quite nice. Get your pelvis feeling even on the ground. So if you feel yourself dipping into your left hip or your right hip, can you try and even that out on the floor? And then you're going to see if you can imagine someone was pulling that block back towards your heels, and as that imaginary person pulled the block backwards, your chest was going to lift up off of the floor. So imagine a pulling force behind you, someone pulling that block. You're going to try and lift your chest away from the floor. Watch that the neck hasn't gotten completely scrunched up. Shoulder blades together and down. Hold for 5, 4, 3, lower back is long, 2, 1, and then take it down. Well done. Just take a moment to rest. You can shake out those shoulders. Alright, that was the easy bit. I probably shouldn't say that, hey. So we're going to take the block again. This time, you're not allowed to wrap your fingers around it. So this time, you have to use the fleshy bit of the flat part of your palms to squish the block. So you're going to feel more of a squishing sensation on the block, whereas previously you might have wanted to pull the block into 2 halves. Now you're going to try and crush the block. Okay, a lot harder. Forehead stays on the mat. Lengthen into the lower back. Press your pubic bone into the floor. Lift your belly away from the floor. So get as much length into the lower back now as possible. Then you're going to squeeze your elbows together towards one another. Shoulder blades draw in towards the spine and down towards your bum. Then you're going to try and lift that block away from your booty. This is like a whole different ball game. Okay, try and straighten out the elbows here. Crush the block. Your fingers are not allowed to touch the block anymore, just the fleshy bits of the palms. Some of you might not get that block to lift off. If that's the case, just keep trying. The effort is enough. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and take it down. Oh my goodness gracious me. So if any of you, take a rest by the way, if any of you are interested in the muscles that we're working here, there are quite a few muscles, but one in particular called your subscapularis, very involved in rotator cuff injuries. Okay, this stuff is also phenomenal for neck pain sufferers. All right, let's go back in. One more. We're going to make it a little bit more difficult. We're going to try and do the same thing and lift our chest off of the ground. Okay? When you're ready, get that block and then get rid of your fingers. Okay, pubic bone into the mat, lower back long, belly lifts up away from the floor, all 10 toes on the mat if you can. And then lift it away from your bum. Straighten out those elbows. Hold it there, guys. And then see if you can lift your chest. Don't crank your neck forward, guys. Don't crank the neck. Keep the lower back long. Keep the lower back long. Hold and maybe pulse the block up. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Your neck is free. 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. Hoo-wee. Get rid of that block. Hands underneath your shoulders. Press yourself up onto all fours. Great job. All right, we're going to come back onto our tummy a little bit later on, but I just want to give you a break from that position for a moment. So, hands are going to be underneath the shoulders, knees are going to be underneath the hips. I'm going to stretch my right leg back. Left arm forward. Lift the right leg up. Try and hold. Okay, and then we're going to pulse the arm and the leg down at the same time. Down, lift and lengthen. Down, lift and lengthen. Down, lift and lengthen. So again, stuff that I would have usually seen back in the day when we could be together would have been heads hanging, shoulders sinking, and hips poking out to the side. Okay, so don't let that happen. Stay on top of yourself. 5, 4, keep gripping the floor with the fingertips of the right hand. 3, 2, oh, and lower back's arching. That's a big one. Don't let it happen. Last one, see if you can lift and hold. Take your left hand back down to the mat. Right leg is going to draw a rainbow. Bam. Bam. So as you draw the rainbow, don't let your whole body get involved. Keep it stable. Can we go for 5? Belly to spine here is a nice cue, but I still want you to breathe. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now, keep your right leg reaching long. I'm going to have my back to you, but you can copy me, okay? You're going to flip everything over to the left so that you can end up in this position here. Okay, so this kind of side lying position. Reach your right arm up overhead. So you got a super long line from right heel to right hand. Reach, 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 reach. Good. Holding for 3, 2, 1. See if you can take your right arm up towards the sky. Squeeze your shoulder blades down and towards the spine, but don't let the lower back arch. Close the ribs. Okay? Connect your foot and your hand into the ground, that right foot and left hand, and see if you can perhaps lift your left leg up off of the ground. I want you to really activate here through your lats. So this area here, switch it on. 3, 2, 1. Slowly lower down. Square off with the mat. Keep your right leg long. Left arm opens up. Rotate. And this is a bit of a funny sequence, isn't it? Hold it here. Don't let your whole pelvis sink. So keep that imaginary glass of champagne balanced right there as you rotate. Lift your right leg up. Lengthen the lower back. And pulse. 10. So arm pulses back. Leg pulses up. 8. Belly to spine. 7. 6. So as the legs and arms lift, don't let the lower back compensate. Okay? 5. 4. 3. 2, 1. Take it down. Great job. Round into the spine. Brief cat stretch. Tailbone drops down as if it was going to go between your two knees. And then back through center. Good job. Okay. Other side. So left leg back, right arm long, lift, and then we're going to do the down and up. Okay, so as the arm and the leg lift, think about lengthening in opposition rather than lifting too high. Okay, lengthen, and then again, just your kind of things to watch for. Sinking in the shoulder. So you're pushing the floor away, guys. 5, 4. Head stays lifted. Don't let it droop down. 3, 2, 1. Hold and reach. Right arm comes down. Left leg draws a rainbow. Okay, just again, watch for the whole body moving. Your almost want to feel that right knee perfectly beneath the right hip. And that's going to give you a nice bit of core. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice. Then just take your left leg back, straight back behind you. You can tuck your toes under. Then everything pivots to the right. It's right shoulder, right knee, left foot. Okay, so you kind of want a straight line for those elements that are on the floor. In class, I've often seen people do this and then wonder why it's not working. Get that shape, the line. Reach up, stretch. Okay, just enjoy that moment. Push the heel of that left foot away from you, like you just squished out a cigarette with the heel. Push it away. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Very nice. 3, 2, 1. Now that bottom arm, get it feeling well placed for you to come into a side plank on it. So I'm going to scoop my shoulder blade down because I don't want my shoulder to sink up towards my ear here. I want to activate my lats. So I want to scoop it down here. Reach my arm up and engage into my left foot. Press it into the floor. Grip the floor with fingertips of my right hand. Hold. Lift that bottom knee. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. There's a fire underneath you. Lift away from it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly take it down. You're going to square off again to the mat. Everything squares off. And then you're going to rotate in the opposite direction. So I'm going to take my right arm up. As soon as I do this, I want to make sure that my left hip doesn't sink. Okay, so square, engage to the lats again, lift. You can hold this here if that's enough for you. Before you do anything else, lengthen the lower back, belly to spine, and we're going to pulse up. 10, 9. So I'm trying to pulse my right arm back and my left leg up. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and take it down. Hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Cat. So in your cat stretch, try and even out your weight distribution between your two legs. Again, all 10 toes are on the ground. Okay, keep your cat position, so really rounding through the spine. And if it's available to you, just try and rock your bum back as if your tailbone was going to drip between your two heels, and then back up onto all fours. We're going to go 3 times. So hopefully you feel a little bit of a stretch happening. For me, I feel it in my lower back because I tend to get tight in my lower back. Luckily, no pain though. 2 and 1. And my friends, we're coming down onto our tummy last time. So we're going to come down onto our tummy to do the exercise that we did last week. It's going to be that lying on our tummy rotational movement. Now when we do that movement, this is where I want you to not move the pelvis as well. Okay, so remember when we were lying on the ball, we did those little rotations in flexion. Same idea here, but we're going to be in spinal extension. Okay, so we're coming down onto our tummy. To practice this movement before we do it against gravity completely, we're going to take our hands again I'm going to go with tented fingers, so the cupcake fingers on the floor in front of my shoulders and wider than the mat. Okay, so I want to move one side at a time. I'm going to keep my pelvis on the ground. I'm going to see if I can push down into the floor with my left hand, and I'm going to lift up and look to the left. My right elbow is going to drop to the floor. So I know you can't see my right elbow, so I'll do the other side and this. So essentially, this is the movement that I want you to try and get in your spine. Rotation. Use the floor. You're going to rotate and extend. Rotate and extend. And now start to, as you keep going with this, start to feel your hip bones on the ground. Try and stabilize them a bit more. So let's squeeze into our glutes. Squeeze into your glutes. Start to stabilize your pelvis a bit more. Pull your belly up towards your spine. You'll start to feel the lower body kind of becoming a bit stiffer, less likely to move. See if you can get more movement through the rib cage, less movement through the lower back and through your pelvis. Last 3. Don't lose your booty. Don't lose your pubic bone. Don't lose your belly to spine. 2, 1. Now, we're going to do the same exact thing. Hands reach back, lift it off of the floor, and then you're going to turn your palms up towards the ceiling in such a way that your collarbones are open. So we externally rotate through the shoulders. If I internally rotate, my collarbones are closed off. So open the collarbones, palms to the ceiling. Squeeze your shoulder blades in towards the spine. All right, lower body activates, pubic bone towards the floor, belly to spine, bum is switched on. Lift your chest a little bit off of the ground. Don't go too high here, okay? Just get that little teeny tiny bit of extension. And then let's rotate. You're going to look to your right and rotate towards the right hand side. Hold for a moment. Activate into your lower body a little bit more. So pubic bone presses into the floor, belly lifts. Imagine you're reaching back to grab a seat belt in the car, and then you come back through center, go to the left. Nice. So really try and find a pure rotation and extension movement. Try and keep your feet on the ground, going from side to side. 10, 9. Squeeze into the muscles of your back. 8, middle back especially. 7, 6, keep the collarbones open. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hands underneath the shoulders. Well done. Press yourself back up onto all fours. Last time. Whew, that is not easy. Let's take a shell stretch actually. Take a shell. So full shell stretch. Notice where you feel the kind of echoes of the movement that you've just done in your body. Hopefully you're feeling it along the spine, the middle back. Hopefully it wasn't in your neck. Alright guys, so last time onto all fours here. I just want you to use this next exercise to feel the difference, hopefully, if any, in your rotational movements. So, super simple. We did this earlier. We're going to open right arm up towards the sky, and I'm hoping here that you might feel fatigue, but that you also feel a little bit more range of motion. So you feel more movement than you did before. Inhale at the top here. And exhale, take it down straight over to the other side. Left arm up, inhale. Just notice if you feel any more movement or gained range. Try keep all 10 toes on the mat. And down. We're going to go for 2 more on each side. All 10 toes on the mat, neck stays free. And down. And open. I think we've done this movement in like every single class. Take it down, but rotation, it's the best. Don't do enough of it. Last time on the left. Good. And release. Well done. So we're going to come to lying on our back. We've got literally 2 minutes left. So all the way onto your back. Feet flat on the mat. Knees up towards the sky. We're going to bridge through the spine. So I want you to take this as a moment to lengthen out all the twists that you've just done. Okay? So as long as you need, take as long as you need. Inhale at the bottom. Exhale, tuck. Pick your pelvis up. Find a bridge. All 10 toes on the mat. Knees parallel. Relax those shoulders. Head is heavy on the ground. Feeling that movement start from the back of the skull. Inhale. As you exhale, slowly lower your spine down. And really, guys, this is not about, muscular burn. This is about creating space in your spine. Slowly coming down. Once you're down, you can come all the way back up again, inhaling at the bottom. Exhaling to tuck. Lift. Pause at the top here for me. As you come down this last time, I want you to think about coming down and lengthening the space between each vertebra as you come down. So it's going to be a lengthening. Pull your tailbone towards the wall in front of you. A lengthening and a lowering. A lengthening and a lowering. A lengthening and a lowering. Lengthening and a lowering. Relax the shoulders. Lengthening and lowering. Lengthening and lowering. 3, 2, 1. Tailbone down. Hug the knees in towards your chest. A little rock from side to side. And then just place your feet flat on the mat there for me. And let your knees slowly windscreen wipe from side to side here for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Knees into the chest just to roll up into seated. Stretch your legs out in front of you, and we're going to hinge forward. Relax your shoulders. Breathe for 3, 2, last breath here. And you guys can walk yourself up your legs. Well done. Great job, everyone. Thank you so much. That stuff is not easy, so great job. I hope it went okay for you there. Thanks, guys. Well done.